The college football season is upon us. We are just under a month away, and so we have the pleasure of speaking to the Baylor Bears head coach, Dave Aranda. And, Coach, I want to get right into it. I want to talk about the quarterback position. You've got a returner in Blake Shapen. He was a guy who was in a competition this spring, but you made the announcement after spring that he was going to be the starter for the fall. What has this evolution been like as a player?
No, I appreciate the question, and I'm happy to be here with you today. But yeah, excited for Blake. I think, he is someone in high school and early part of his career, everything he did kind of worked and had success and, worked hard for sure for these things, but always kind of seemed to work out. I think the adversity hit us last year. I think outside noise got on the inside, and I don't think we both didn't handle it great, but the ability to learn from it and the ability to grow is one of the things that I really treasure about being a coach is going through that and coming out stronger on the other side because of it. And I feel, Blake, with both his leadership and his consistency, leadership-wise, if there's someone that's not holding the standard, if there's someone that's not running the right route, or someone that didn't get the call and protection, Blake is right there. Immediately right there, And then on the other side of it, if someone did something right, if someone didn't do the thing the right time last time, but then did it this particular time, he's the first guy there to congratulate him. And so I know the guys know that he cares and he loves them. But, on the other side is consistency. And, you go back to last year, there would be a practice where maybe we start the drill with a competitive 2-minute drill and it didn't go good. Maybe the defense got the better of it, and then there'd be a struggle to kind of get Blake back in the remainder of the practice. And maybe we got to try again the next day, whereas in this past spring, maybe we have a 2-minute drill to start a practice, didn't go great, but right after that, 7-on-7 or whatever we got, he's right back on it.
You just mentioned opening up practice with a 2-minute drill, competitive drill. It's something that I've seen a little bit, but don't see a ton in college practices. Is that a part of your philosophy to open up with competition?
It is, yeah. We try to be able to make it as highly competitive as we can and make it to where it's not scheduled, to where we try to find a time where guys are starting to we want them to be comfortable when they're uncomfortable. I imagine there's a better way of saying that, but really that's what it amounts to. I think one of the things that you have to fight against with football is that we all know when our first game is going to be, and we know for a lot of them what time it's going to be, and we know how long the quarters are going to be, and we know, we're going to, at the time of the game, someone's going to kick off, someone's going to receive. We know all these things so we can plan for it. And the planning can you can take some comfort in the planning, but, football is a game of random events and setbacks. So the thing that gets you is the stuff that you can't plan for, right? And that is how you respond.
One of the things that certainly helps a quarterback is a great offensive line. Your offensive line is turning over in personnel. You got to replace a lot of starters up there. So how have you figured to restructure this offensive line?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really excited about Clark, Barrington, Campbell, Barrington. I think both of those guys are transfers for us and have played before for Coach Eric Mateos, who's our O-line coach, and Coach Jeff Grimes, who's our coordinator. So they have coming in, they had an idea of the system and all of it, and then coming in, they had an idea of what we were about, how the program's run and what we value and all of it. So they've just been just great fits and great leaders. Clark is kind of the bite of everything. We've got some leaders on offense that will bark some, but Clark is the dude that will bite, and I think we need that. And just his intentional leadership has just been from the beginning just so welcomed and so strong. And so I think, I look at our O-line as really, really talented, but inexperienced. And there is a great hunger there to go out and achieve and do it and go about it. The chip on the shoulder with our O-line is really good to see. I mean, I can, if I step out of here and go right down the hall, there's a couple of them watching film, and they're probably pissed off right now, just about hey, the expectation and what we want to play. So they're in a mindset to kind of battle, and so you love to see that when your big people kind of have that motivation. So I think there's going to be some learning curve to it, but I feel like we've got the right people in the right spots.
Seems like your run game is going to be really good this year. You got freshman All-American Richard Reese returning at running back. You also brought in transfer Dominic Richardson. So as you start to look at this running back room, you take inventory of the personnel. What are your expectations heading into the season?
No, appreciate that. We want to finish runs, and so we want to be able to not only get, if the O-line gives us 3 yards, we want a guy that will fall forward and give us 1.5 yards, give us half yard, something, right? So here's the line of scrimmage. The ball is moved here. We need a back to do that, right? And just from having that a couple of years ago, and just being on the sideline, that changes the momentum of the game. That will engage. At the first beginning, we're similar. There were some boxing matches and UFC fights just the other night. So there's first round, kind of we're fitting, kind of measuring. The jab is going. We're kind of working with space and reach and everything. And then all of a sudden, there's the big right cross, and that can be a running back falling forward.